Am I the a-hole for not getting upset or convince the bride after I was uninvited to my friend's wedding? This happened over the weekend, but there's still so much tension. One of my good friends, Matthew, 26M, is getting married next month to Jennifer, 26F. I, 25F, have known Matthew since high school. We both connected when it came to video games, especially Minecraft. Matthew has had his fair share of girlfriends over the years, but when he met Jennifer 3 years ago, he said that he knew she was the one and they are madly in love with each other, and I am so happy for them both. Last year, Matthew popped the question to Jennifer and she said yes. Jennifer's demeanor towards me drastically changed after the engagement. She was distant towards me, she wouldn't look at me, and she would hardly speak to me, which was weird since Jennifer was always so sweet and nice towards me. I'd still talk to Matthew and meet with him and our group of friends, sometimes with Jennifer, and she would still act cold and not speak to me much. I kept my distance from Jennifer. 3 months ago, we all received a save-the-date invitation, and their wedding is going to take place at Matthew's cabin 2 hours away, and they were going to keep it small due to the size of the cabin, so we were only allowed to bring 1 guest. That was when Jennifer acted extremely harsh and hostile towards me, and said, "Bet you don't have a +1, since you are so into my man." I was taken aback. I asked her what the fuck she was talking about, and she smirked and said I knew, and to not act stupid. I ignored her remark and told her my boyfriend was coming. She looked surprised and left. I of course told Matthew about what Jennifer said to me, and he was not happy, so he made her apologize to me. Then, last weekend, I was invited by Matthew's sister to go dress shopping with her and Jennifer. I declined at first, because I wanted to keep my distance from Jennifer, but Matthew's sister assured me that she will deal with Jennifer and that our other friends will be there with us. So we go dress shopping, and I found a beautiful dress that I thought would be perfect, and I took a picture to send to my boyfriend since he planned on matching, I daddy with a bow tie, with me. I tried the dress on, and it was a perfect fit, so I guess I got lucky. Jennifer was angry, called me names such as a whore, a boyfriend-stealing bitch, and that I was officially uninvited to the wedding. She caused such a commotion, the employee of the store asked us to leave. I told Jennifer I didn't want to come to the wedding anyway, but I was going to because my friend was getting married. I told her if she didn't want me at the wedding, fine. I don't give a fuck, since I won't go to a wedding if the bride is going to be so rude to a guest. Matthew and our friends found out, and I was getting texts left and right begging me to just come to the wedding. I told them I was happy to get uninvited and I'll just spend the day with my boyfriend on the day of the wedding instead. They're all mad at me for not fighting hard enough. Am I the a-hole? Edit, so my decision is final. I will not be going to the wedding, and there's no changing my mind about it. I will be sending a wedding gift to Matthew the day prior to the wedding instead. I told Matthew and all my friends that I won't be going, and they can't convince me otherwise. Matthew also called me and asked if we can talk somewhere. I agreed, but it's to tell him in person that I won't go so that way he knows I'm serious about that. Update, I met up with Matthew and brought my boyfriend along. Of course, he begged me to come to the wedding and he said he would beg Jennifer to let me attend. I told him it's best if I wasn't there. I told Matthew that Jennifer has a problem with me. Period. He said he doesn't understand, and he did ask her many times, but Jennifer would continue to say she was just stressed. I got angry and said that's bullshit and he knows that. My boyfriend also intervened and said to Matthew that he needs to wake up and realize Jennifer is crazy and he can't keep defending her. Matthew said he loves her too much and doesn't want to lose her. My boyfriend and I got up and told Matthew to let us know when he has a backbone. In the meantime, it's best we don't talk. I messaged all of our friends in the group to let them know I'm keeping a distance from Matthew because of Jennifer. He's still my friend, but at an arm's length. I will still be sending him a gift regardless, but I'm keeping my distance from Matthew. It seems like he is in denial and can't comprehend what's going on at all. He usually is in denial. Ever since high school, he would have a sense of denial. Another thing to mention is that Jennifer is nice to all of Matthew's female friends. Just not with me. I've also gotten a message from 2 of our friends saying they have dropped out of attending the wedding because of Jennifer and that they are on my side. Am I the a-hole for not considering the baby part of the family? X and I were married for 20 years. We had 2 kids together. Our son was the 6th grandchild born on his side, and our daughter was the 7th grandchild and 1st granddaughter on that side. There were 5 more kids born after her. On my side, our kids were the first grandchildren. I have always been into vintage/handmade items. MIL would make blankets/sweaters/booties/mittens for all the babies. When our daughter was born, she also made rompers and dresses for her. The other daughters never appreciates what she did. In addition to what SHE made, she also gave us the sweaters that were given to her son, my husband, by his nannies, grandmothers. My mother, first grandchildren, would shop at dollar boutiques for outfits for my kids. She finally came to reality and started shopping cheaper. My kids also wore the christening gown that my grandmother had worn. Yeah, it was old. In addition to the clothing, there were toys. Toys from their grandparents when they were babies, toys from their father's side that none of his siblings wanted for their babies. Toys from my side I wanted them to have. Toys they got as gifts. And yes, I had all the toys tested for safety before I allowed the kids to have them. The kids grew up and out these things. I packed these items up in boxes so that when our children have children of their own, these things will be available for them if they want them. Our marriage didn't last. He walked out on us, and left all boxes, baby items, with me. He quickly remarried. His wife has a daughter that was out of the house when they married. The daughter recently had a baby. Now, his wife had seen photos of our children wearing some of the items I had saved up, and SHE feels that since her daughter had the first grandchild that her daughter, is entitled to all the baby items I had saved for future grandchildren. Am I the a-hole? He walked away and left all the baby items with me. I saved the items so that our children will have them, if they desire, for their children, our grandchildren. They, him and wife, feel that since his wife's daughter gave birth, she is just as entitled to the saved baby items as our children are. And yes, I could ask XMIL what she would like me to do with the items, but I really don't want to get her involved if I don't have to. I might be the a-hole for not allowing my ex to give baby items from our kids that I saved for their future children to his wife so she could present them to her own, already existing, grandbabies. Am I the a-hole for telling my husband he poops too much? My husband poops several times a day. He makes 2 to 3 trips to the bathroom in the morning, right after waking up plus right after breakfast, then at least 3 more times throughout the day. Each of these sessions is at least 20 minutes, and I know he is actually pooping, although he takes his phone with him. That's not the point of this post, I don't care about the phone. When I asked him why he poops so often, he told me he feels like he's bloated and needs to poop after each large meal. Recently, I lost my patience and told him that his pooping was affecting my life and that he needs to go to a doctor because this is completely abnormal. We have a kid and I find it annoying to have to accommodate my husband's pooping schedule among everything else we need to get done each day. He was offended by this and said it's normal to poop this much for the amount of food he eats. I continue to insist that he must have some type of disease such as IBS or something that is causing his constant need to poop. AITA for upsetting my husband and insisting that he goes to a doctor for his excessive pooping? Am I the a-hole for warning my father's new girlfriend about his racist behavior? Hey. I, 15F, have been noticing things about my father, 50M, recently. He's a white man, and since divorcing my mom, he's only ever dated women of color. Which is fine with me. We live in an area where most people are POC, even, so his dating habits aren't too weird on their own. The problem is the jokes he makes about his girlfriends when they aren't looking. When he had a Hispanic girlfriend, he mocked her accent and food. When he had an Asian girlfriend, he mocked her traditional Asian parenting and her celebrating traditional holidays. When he had a black girlfriend, he mocked her natural hair. When he had a Native American girlfriend, he made Pocahontas and Indian princess jokes relentlessly. Some of them got angry about these jokes, while others would uncomfortably laugh them off, but I could tell none of them were really comfortable with the jokes he made. Sometimes it seems like he dates them just to put them down and then dump them. I hate it. Well, yesterday he brought home a girl from India who he apparently met last week. When he was out of the room, I pulled her aside and gently warned her about how he treated his previous girlfriends who weren't white, because I didn't want her to date him not knowing how he is until he starts belittling her too. She got really quiet and made up an excuse to leave a few minutes later. Apparently she hasn't talked to him since yesterday, and my brother felt bad for him and decided to tell my dad what I said to her. So now my dad is angry at me for thinking so little of him and interfering in his love life. I was pretty confident that I did the right thing, but my mom and brother both think I should have just kept my mouth shut, and my dad is really angry, so now I'm double-guessing myself and whether it was my place to step in. Am I the asshole here? Am I the a-hole for being irritated at my gay friend's presumption of men's sexualities? I'd like to preface this by saying that I am in no way homophobic. Anyway, I, F22, am currently dating a man, 24M, who is so gentle, sweet, and comfortable in his masculinity. So when I first started hanging out with this particular gay friend, 25M, I knew that a joke like that would be on the table, so it didn't bother me, it was funny. It started bothering me after about a month, when every single time we would hang out he would say something like, "How's your gay little boyfriend?" or "You should check guys on his phone," and things like that. I laughed it off every single time. During those hangouts, I noticed that he started to do this thing with basically every man around us who had a girlfriend. He said my ex was 100% gay. I mean, look at him, random men walking by with their GFS were no way in hell straight, and some guy friends in our group were victims to those jokes too, not to their faces. I tolerated it for a few months. After all, he's gay, so he's bound to think that those people are attractive. One night, though, I was having a particularly difficult day, and honestly all the resentment from these jokes had started to gather up, because it seemed to me that he was being disrespectful and sexist to women as well, because he could not fathom how men are attracted to them. So when he jokingly said, "Yo, do you know that your boyfriend is gay?" I replied, "Only if you're aware that yours is very much straight." After that he told me in an ironic tone to chill out and relax, no need to be insecure over men. I found that odd, since I replied with the same exact thing he's been saying for months, just a bit of an angrier tone than him. That night my friends told me I was unnecessarily aggressive and I was thinking I was in the right until they told me that I overreacted, so I'd like to hear some other perspective on this. Thank you. Am I the a-hole for not paying the full cost of my friend's laptop after an accident at my party? I hosted a small get-together last weekend. My friend decided to bring his brand new laptop to show off some work. During the evening, as everyone was crowded around, I accidentally knocked over my drink, and it spilled on his laptop, which immediately stopped working. He's really upset, which I get. He's saying it'll cost a fortune to fix or replace. But here's the context. He placed his laptop right in the middle of a busy party table that was loaded with drinks and snacks. It seemed like an accident waiting to happen. He insists I should cover the entire cost of repairs or replacement. I offered to split the cost, considering the risky setup. I feel it's somewhat his responsibility too, for placing such an expensive item in such a precarious spot during a lively gathering. I'm willing to help because I feel bad about the situation, but I don't think footing the entire bill is fair. He's adamant I should pay it all. AITA for thinking we should share the responsibility? Am I the a-hole for adding cinnamon and fruit jam on top of a rice pudding without asking my BF? It sounds stupid to me, 39F, but my BF, 37M, got mad because I did that. He said he wanted to eat it without me adding anything to it. I told him it's only on top and not a lot, even showed him that I can push it to the side and that it's only on the surface. After snapping at me and telling me how disappointed he was, he told me that I was the one getting upset. He does this often when he gets angry about something random, and I try to diffuse/fix the situation, and I'm told that I am the one being upset. I probably get agitated after he gets angry. This time he told me that I'm turning it around and that he reacted to me. I don't even know what's going on anymore. Family is aware that he has anger issues, but he acts like it's people's fault for being shitty and triggering him. It's tiring, and I tell him that it is his anger issues, but he almost doesn't want to believe it. He thinks he's being gaslit or something. He left the house slamming the door because of me. I don't know how to handle his anger issues and how to not be blamed all the time for it. Am I really an asshole because I didn't ask if it's okay to add things to a rice pudding? It was a pre-made one too. Edit, more info. We have 2 containers of rice pudding and I opened one for myself, but offered him some. Maybe he didn't know we had 2, but still. Am I the a-hole for telling people that my dad is dead even though he's not? I, 13 haven't seen or spoken to my dad since he left when I was 10. I moved to a different school a year ago, so no one knew my dad left, and when people asked I just told them that he was dead because I want people to think that I had a dad that cared about me and didn't want to leave me. It's not really a lie anyway, because my dad might be dead, I don't know if he is, and anyway, it's not like I'm ever gonna see him again, so it is like he's sorta dead. Lying about my dad was working out though, because I didn't speak to too many people, so I didn't have to lie about my dad much anyway, and nobody who thinks my dad is dead will ever meet my mom because we're not friends, so it's not like my mom would ever be able to tell them the truth. But like this guy I share a few classes with is obsessed with becoming my friends. It's so annoying. I ignore him most of the time, but he just follows me everywhere and talks to me anyway. He forced me into letting him come home with me, and he met my mom. He told my mom that it's really admirable how great of a mom she is even though my dad is gone, and then he told her that he was sorry for her loss. He's so weird, I don't know why he said any of this honestly. She was really confused, and he told her that I told him that my dad's dead. My mom told him that I lied and got really annoyed at me. She yelled at me and told me I need to stop lying to people who want to be my friend, otherwise I won't have any or something. My mom has been really upset with me since. She told me that she's worried about me. My kind of friend hasn't spoken to me since, but I don't really care about him, I just care my mom, like I feel kinda bad for making her worry and whatever, like I didn't mean to. I didn't think this would be such a big deal. Am I the a-hole?